Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
Unity backpedals on their new fees. We have a couple issues with the Final Fantasy VII remake, and see if you can count how many times we say Mario, because that's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Casters Guild. I am your guild master, Rick Perry, and I make one hell of a pan-galactic gargle blaster.
And I am your guild master, Baron Kane, and I'm a man of constant sorrow.
And did you do anything fun this past week, Baron?
Yeah, I actually went out and I just got so drunk, so blasted.
I actually did get a little drunk earlier today.
Oh, I was kidding, but sweet.
I went to the Jack Daniel's distillery and took a
Jack
tour.
Daniel's?
Mm-hmm. I've lived in Tennessee for 10 years and haven't been to that distillery. It's 2 hours from me.
I could live in Tennessee and I would never go there. Not for any of, like, I don't hate the company or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a Jack Daniel's drinker.
I took what they call the Angel Share tour. The standard tour is like $30 and the Angel Share tour is $35. And at the end of the tour, you get a tasting of all the higher end stuff, like all the single barrel stuff instead of the standard stuff.
Okay.
And after doing that tasting, I'm a believer in Jack Daniel's, man. The higher end stuff, it's good shit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, us peasants living in the bottom shelf world, I get that we are missing out on a lot of good things, so it doesn't surprise me that, you know, some of the exclusive, more, you know, harder to buy stuff tastes better. So yeah, I get it. Which reminds me, when you come back up, I have to take you to you went to the Brothers Drake, didn't you?
I don't think so.
So the Brothers Drake around me, it's a meadery. They sell mead out of it, and they brew it there, and I think they do tours. So we definitely got to get you up there to hopefully do a tour and try some of their mead, especially since, you know, you are doing your mead as well. I don't know if any of our listeners know that. If you want to hop into the Discord, we have a liquid libations section. So if any of you are brewers out there making your own stuff, we have an 18+ channel. Come in and talk about this stuff. If you're not 21, we don't want to hear about you drinking it, though.
Right, exactly.
So, but yeah, you should come up and give it a test. And also the Brothers Drake, let's face it, is the most motherfucking D&D tavern name I have ever heard in the real world.
It is. Yeah.
That is not done on purpose. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a cool place. But to answer your question, yes, I went to the Mothman Festival. It was a good time. It was really crowded, but I'm learning more and more from the people I talked to while I was there that Friday is the day to go. So, because it's not very crowded on a Friday, obviously, because people are still working and stuff like that.
Sure.
But yeah, when we went Saturday, it was busy as all hell. And let me tell you, again, I'm not wrong when I say that. And I say this in the most curmudgeonly old man way possible. Fallout 76 ruined the Mothman Festival.
Oof.
Because there were all kinds of like Fallout cosplayers there and everything like that. And by it ruined the Mothman Festival, I mean there's so many of you people now that go there that it's just it's
more about Fallout than it is about the cryptid at this point.
Yeah. There was a line to get into the Mothman Museum that wrapped around the block.
Jeez.
It wrapped around a block.
And like crazy. I know that happened to Good Springs near Vegas when New Vegas came out. Like Good Springs.
Really?
Yeah, but to be honest, Good Springs didn't really have something for Fallout to take over. You know what I mean? Good Springs was like, we're kind of a tourist destination in that like we're just a really old bar like right outside of Vegas.
Right.
But like New Vegas came along and they embraced Fallout New Vegas hard. Like, for a while,
Right.
you could get Sunset Sarsaparilla there.
Oh, that's
And
really cool.
They put a bunch of Fallout music in the jukebox, and yeah, it turned it into like a destination for Fallout fans, but it didn't take over something else.
Right.
Whereas I could see Fallout 76 taking over the Mothman Festival being kind of frustrating for people who were going before 76.
Yeah. Like when we started going before, and like I know I've talked about, I had to have talked about this on the on this podcast before. I'm trying to remember the year we started going, but it was pre-pandemic, obviously, pre-Fallout 76. But we started going, and it was just like your little typical street fair. It wasn't like a lot of people. We actually didn't even have to stand in line to get into the museum. We just walked right in, checked it out. It was even on a Saturday. And yeah, checked it out, checked everything out. We were there. Hanging out, talking to people. We had time to sit and talk with some of the people who were there doing stuff. It's really nice. It was really nice. This time, it's like, oh, wow. But I will say this: I have this vest that I have been adding patches to and stuff like that. One of the biggest the biggest patch on my vest is a back patch. That's Sons of Samhain, and that is done by a guy who runs a shop called Monsterologist. He does art and a lot of patches and buttons and stuff. Yeah, I kind of went up and was like, I was starting to buy stuff, and I got some patches for me and the Spawn. And he's your typical shop guy, but he saw one of the buttons on my vest, and it was like one of the ones I got from the very first Mothman we went to years ago. And he's like, "Oh, you got one of the old school buttons." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I got this years ago when I got this back patch." And he was like, "Oh, you got..." So yeah, he was like all geeking out and stuff like that. And he was like sitting there chatting with us. And but there was just so many people there that we couldn't just, sit and chat like I would normally want to do. Because I'm not going to hold up. I'm not going to hold up his booth. I'm just going to, get my shit and go. They actually, you know what? Here's another thing too. And I know I put this in the topics to cover, but it is another shop that does stuff down there, Ballyraven. And it's funny, too, because they went by a different name when I first ran into them. But it was something Puck, and I can't even remember because they've been Ballyraven for so long. But when I was a fan of theirs before I even saw them at the Mothman Festival, because they do a lot of stuff with cryptids, and they're good. They put out a lot of good art. But this time, there was a line to get into their shop, and I'm like, you know what? Good on you. Good on you. I couldn't even stop in the shop. There was something I wanted, and I was just like, screw it, I'll just get it on Etsy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really good to see. It's really, really good to see these vendors that are there doing really well now.
We'll definitely throw their link in the description so everybody can take a look at their stuff.
Absolutely. And you may actually recognize them as soon as you see some of the art.
Right.
But it was really good. I know that it's like, I'm a little butthurt old man who's like, I don't like all these people here. But at the same time, it's like, these vendors are making a living off of what they're doing. So if these vendors are getting absolutely slammed and leaving with no stock, then perfect.
Yeah, that's nothing but good news.
Yep, I know where to find you online. I don't need to be upset that I couldn't. I can just be happy that I see you doing well.
Yeah, it's like we talked about in some of our earlier seasons where people were getting upset about all the people joining the tabletop role-playing game hobby.
Yep.
And it's like, well, now we get all this cool shit because there's all these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if these shops that you like start selling out of all their shit, they're going to have more money to make more cool shit.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, let me tell you, both the people I mentioned make amazing stuff. A huge fan of both of them. And they've just been pumping out new stuff. And it's all quality stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to get the new patches on my vest.
Yeah. But a lot of stuff happened this week, including two great big announcements from two great big video game companies. So I want to make sure we get that in on this episode. So let's start with the Nintendo Direct that just hit us during this week.
Oh, okay.
Mario fans are eating good. Like this most recent Nintendo Direct was all Mario. Well, not all Mario, but practically all Mario. Some of this stuff we knew about from earlier announcements, but this was like the first big one from Nintendo. So first of all, we have the remake of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. We saw this one coming from a teaser.
And I've never played that, but now I'm interested.
Yeah. From what we can see,
I think I was interested before, but go ahead.
Yeah, Paper Mario's always been pretty good. Well, not always. Some people say that after Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario went on a decline. There was one on the Switch called Origami King that I still enjoyed, but people had complaints about it. Thousand Year Door tends to be what people say is like the best one when it comes to Paper Mario. And if you watch the trailer, they are not only like revamping like the graphics, making it look better, but they are adding a whole bunch of new features, adding a whole bunch of new things to do, as well as the Super Mario RPG remake, where it seems that they're not only revamping the graphics, but adding in like triple moves and a whole bunch of new stuff. So if you're a Mario fan and an RPG fan, you've got the Thousand Year Door remake and the RPG remake both coming out, both looking like they're getting a lot of love and attention paid to it. And Nintendo now has that deal. It's not just when Zelda came out. You can do it as much as you want. You go on their site and you buy 2 games for, I think it's $100. So it doesn't matter if they're $60 games, $70 games. You get 2 games for $100. It's like a voucher, and then like you just slot in 2 games. Could save you money if you're getting both of those games or whatever other Nintendo games you want.
Yeah, I mean, any way to save money. If you're going to get them anyways, do what you can to save it. Yeah, I remember Super Mario RPG. I was really interested in playing that because, that was back. That came out back when I still am. Let's just face it. Back when I was, into the whole party-based, turn-based RPG system. Because, Baldur's Gate is a turn-based RPG, to be fair. But it's not your party floats in from the right and the bad guy floats in from the left and you just do the fight thing. I don't know what it is. Again, the old man brain in me, I guess. But it's always appealed to me. It's always been wonderful. And whenever they made that shit real time, it irked me because now I can't get up and use the restroom. And they need to go back to when it's my turn, I can wait.
Think about what I want to do, strategize.
Right.
And yeah, that is definitely both Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario. Now, I will say, no, you can do that on your turn. You can wait. You can take as much time as you menus. But when it comes to actually doing the attack moves, there are reaction buttons. So let's say you choose Mario Jump. Like, you can take as much time as you want to choose that action. But after you do, if you press the button right when Mario hits his head, you'll do extra damage, just as an example.
Oh, gotcha. So it's not like Final Fantasy 1 where I can set up everybody's attacks and then just get up and walk away while they do their thing?
No.
Okay.
And when the enemy is taking their turn, if you press the block button at just the right time, you'll take less damage.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you got those 2 RPGs. Then a new entry into the Mario versus Donkey Kong series was released.
A new entry? Wait. There were other Mario versus Donkey Kongs?
So the Mario versus Donkey Kong series has always been like a puzzle type thing where you have like these little wind up Mario toys and you try to guide them from one end of the level to the other end of the level.
Okay.
And it's kind of I don't know if I want to say cult classic. The people who love it really love it. And it's not a ton of people, but it's not like their biggest selling series or anything like that. But the people who are into it are really into it, and they're getting a new one. The big difference on this one is this new one will now have co-op play. So you can sit down with your friend and join in on the fun and kind of do your puzzle platforming together.
Okay.
But we're not done with Mario yet.
What?
They finally showed us the new Princess Peach game. Like, they announced that Princess Peach was getting her own game again, but this is the first time we saw what it actually was. It's called Princess Peach Showtime. And the whole thing is like a stage play where Peach gets different costumes, where each of the different costumes get different powers. And you're working your way through the story of the stage play as Princess Peach. Some of the costumes we saw were Detective Peach, Kung Fu Peach, and Sword Fighter Peach.
Okay. It vaguely reminds me of like Final Fantasy X2.
Yes, with the job system.
Yeah. You know what? The older I get, the more I realize that really wasn't a bad system.
No.
It really wasn't a bad system. It was kind of cool. I like the idea of, putting on a costume and then it's like, that's your class now. And you got, you're building up experience with that costume. But yeah, okay.
And we're still not done with Mario.
Shut up.
We have Luigi's.
No, okay, go ahead.
Luigi's Mansion 2 got remade in HD. So that's getting a nice little remake. There seems
to be a lot of remakes happening.
Yeah, definitely. WarioWare is getting a new game. WarioWare Move It. It promises more than 200 micro games and can be played multiplayer. It's going to have a new, what they call posture system, where before you do a set of games, they ask you to get in a certain posture with your controller, and that's the position that you play each game from. We've got...
So, hold on. Now that we're done with all the Mario stuff...
We're not.
What?
We're not. They announced what the next booster course wave for Mario Kart 8 is going to be. Adding in a lot of fan favorite characters like Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Paulina, and Peachette. And some new courses like the Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii, a couple of them from the Mario Kart mobile game. And that might be it for Mario. I think that's it for Mario. That's it for Mario. Okay. That's all the Mario stuff they announced.
Seems like Mario stuff is really just a lot of remasters and like DLC, but then we got a couple of like fresh games coming out.
Yeah, we got the Peach game is coming out. That one's fresh. Now we also have Super Mario Odyssey coming out, which wasn't part of this direct, I believe, but it is coming.
Okay.
So yeah, Mario fans, it's looking good. So the stuff that wasn't Mario, there's a new Splatoon 3 expansion pass coming out, if you're a Splatoon fan. I have never been a huge Splatoon fan, but I know it's huge. I know people really like it.
Spawn really digs it. You know me in competitive games. I hate going up against people. So that's kind of what that is. I know there's a first player option, but we know why everybody plays it.
Right. The Another Code games are getting a collection released. If you don't know what those are, there's a DS game called Trace Memory, and its Wii sequel, Another Code R, Journey into Lost Memories, which that sequel was never released in North America, but now they're both coming to Switch in a 2-game package. So cool. If you liked Trace Memory on DS and you really wanted to play that sequel, you'll finally get your chance, and you'll get it in a collection, so you can even play Trace Memory again to remind yourself what was going on there. We saw some more stuff come out of Detective Pikachu Returns.
Kind of makes me wonder if maybe they are gearing up for a sequel movie.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, they're investigating a jewel heist this time. So if you like Detective Pikachu, there you go, getting a sequel. Now the next announcement, this one really blew my mind because I thought I'd never see another F-Zero game for as long as I lived. But they announced F-Zero 99, which technically isn't like a full-fledged F-Zero game. It's like a battle royale. So if you remember Tetris 99 or Mario 35, where basically you're playing F-Zero with 98 other players, and as you go along the track, you can get knocked out of the game, and you're trying to get to at least finish the race, and especially finish the race in first place. And if you have a Nintendo subscription, the online Switch subscription, you just get access to it, and it's out now. You don't have to wait for it to come out. Like the day they announced it was the day it released.
Kind of hoping, it'd be cool as if you could have like vehicle modification. Like
you kind of can.
Your vehicle.
You kind of can. So like you pick one of the main vehicles, and as you do better, you can like upgrade it and like customize it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Like physically, does it look physically different though? That's what I'm talking about.
Not really.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but do you get to choose at least your color and design?
The colors and designs are a little different, but they don't actually, the colors and designs don't change how the vehicle operates, at least I don't think.
No. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that. I meant like cosmetically. Period.
Yes.
If you get to change. Cool. Yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Next up, they announced a Spy Family game for the Nintendo Switch, Spy Anya Operation Memories.
How? I don't... Okay.
So the point of the game, just because you kind of seem to be confused about how that works, you play as Anya, the little girl, and you're trying to fill out a photo journal. So it's like a life simulation game, and you go around as Anya and do fun things with your family and take pictures. And yeah.
I guess playing as Anya really makes sense, because it's... it's through all three of their points of views, but let's face it, it really is out of her point of view that this anime is happening.
Right.
So for this game to take place through her point of view actually makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're playing Spy X Family Snap.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But you play as Anya, but it's a little bit more than that, because you can play little mini games and play dress up and take your pictures and all kinds of cool stuff.
Sure.
I'm just going to go through the next couple really quick, because we all know Nintendo Switch is full of... We all know Nintendo Switch is full of JRPGs that I know nothing about, and I'll give you the titles, but I can't tell you anything about them because I don't fucking know. But there's Saga Emerald Beyond.
That looked cool. Kind of. Awful lot of gun stuff in there, which, I'm not like anti-gun or anything, but in my fantasy RPGs, meh.
Well, then maybe you'll be more interested in Unicorn Overload or Overlord.
I am, and I'll tell you why. One, the artwork on it looks very cool, very classic Final Fantasy-esque. Also,
really does.
I see a werewolf.
Yeah, there is a werewolf. There's
a werewolf. You know how I feel about werewolves. We won't talk about it publicly, but you know how I feel about werewolves.
And you know what? Because of my love for Ninja Sex Party, if I can play as a unicorn wizard, I'm in.
Can you?
I don't know. I don't know. But if you can, I'm in.
The irony of the game is Unicorn Overlord is named after the unicorn that's trying to take over the world. What? You paragon of good? I must take over the world for good. All right. Lawful good. Got it.
So now we got a new Contra game, Operation Galuga. I don't know if that's how I actually pronounce, but that's what it looks like to me.
You big Galuga.
I mean, it's a run and gun Contra game. I'm in. That's just how it works.
I'm going to be a dick and pronounce it Galaga.
Trying to get them a cease and desist letter.
Contra, Operation Galaga. We'd shit ourselves if that's actually how you pronounce it.
Yes, I would. All right, then there was a meme game that made its way onto Steam, and a lot of people played it and thought it was a lot of funny, but it's finally making its way to Switch, called Trombone Champ.
I wouldn't mind getting back into this game, but I'm kind of rusty.
I'm sure it will take you no time at all to get right back into the swing of things. All right, another collection got announced: Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remastered.
Can I point out something about this?
Please do.
It's so weird because someone posted a video from Tomb Raider 1, and this was like days ago. And it was I think it was Tomb Raider 1, could have been 2. I can't remember which one. This is where you fight the dinosaur, the scene where you fight the dinosaur. Well, they were like, man, I would have really loved to see this remastered.
Here it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. 1, 2, and 3 remastered. Updated graphics. And the cool thing about it, I think a lot of remasters do this, and I think this is really cool. You can switch back and forth between the updated graphics and the classic visuals. So if you prefer the classic visuals, they're there. But you can also kind of switch back and forth and see the difference and see how upgraded it is.
Honestly, I would very, very much love to just stay with the updated visuals, but that option is amazing, and I love it.
Next, we got a new side-scrolling entry into the Prince of Persia series, The Lost Crown. I've always been a big fan of the Prince of Persia series. A lot of the later games have caught a lot of crap, but I liked them.
I've never been a fan. It's always been too hard for me.
And then we got another arcade-style racing game called Horizon Chase 2, which was released when it was announced. It's an arcade racer. I don't have much else to say about it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. And also, just for pure transparency, we did get this list from Polygon.com. If you want to go ahead and just check that list out for yourself, just go ahead and go to Polygon.com, check it out. Because we don't have inside sources. We don't have connections to the biz. We aren't invited to the big releases. We need to go to the internet just like you people. So leave us alone. We'll tell you where to go.
All right. And in the theme of the new arcade racing game, we'll switch gears here over here to PlayStation's State of Play. Also getting this list from Polygon. But we got a few different things. We all knew Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming. It's the next game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy.
Oh, dumb!
And it got its release date.
I'm the Final Fantasy guy, and I fucking hate that.
Well, here's the thing that's really dumb to me. Okay, let's not start off what I think is dumb. In defense of making Final Fantasy VII Remake a trilogy. People love this game. They have added a lot of really cool stuff into it and really put a lot of work into it. And the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second one, takes up 2 discs. So it's not like they're gypping people with this trilogy where they're like really filing down the content to like milk it, right? They are putting a lot of work into it. Here's the part that really flipped my switch on it and made me go, okay, this shit's dumb. You cannot transfer your save file from the first game in the trilogy to the second game in the trilogy.
You know what? Let me take over this conversation here for a second. I completely misunderstood what this was. From what I understood, the Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be, we're getting the first part of that game in one installment. The next part and I thought it was all gonna just be the Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is after Final Fantasy VII, correct?
No. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first game, whichever, I forget what title the first game got, was the story up until the Gold Saucer.
Oh my god. So I was right originally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and that was 2 discs, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and take this over then.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Final Fantasy VII, right?
Mm-hmm.
The original. That was a 3-discer.
Yep.
3 discs.
But that was 3 PlayStation 1 discs, to be fair.
So now we have the first part of that game is 2 discs. Mm-hmm. The second part of that game is 2 discs. And the third part is more than likely going to be another 2 discs. So we went from 3 discs, which like you said, admittedly,
1.
It was just PlayStation. However, we have better systems and better forms of memory now, and it's still 6 discs long.
That's how big that each one of these games are, and how
man.
But there are people who bought that first game who love Final Fantasy VII, who put so much work into their characters in the first one. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna transfer my characters and all my work over into this new game when it comes out, and it's gonna be great. And fucking no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. The only thing you get is if you have a save file. It doesn't matter how long it is. Like, if you have a save file of the first game, you get some, like, neat little bonuses in the second game. And that's it. And, like, it doesn't matter. You could literally boot up the first game, create a save file, turn it off, and boot up the second game, and you get the cool extra shit.
Okay.
But all those people who put all those work into their characters get none of it. Which, in a way... is in the spirit of Final Fantasy VII, because if you put a bunch of work into Aeris before, Sephiroth meets her, and then you just lose her halfway through the game, you lose all of that extra work you put in with that character.
I will say the upside, though, is once all this comes out, and you've got all this stuff, you can lay out all of the game, all the physical discs for this. You can take a snapshot and send it to your friends and say, you just sent the largest disc pic that you ever have before in your life.
Yeah. One single continuous disc pic.
One big old disc pic.
All right, so next is the thing I'm actually excited about. more information from Marvel Spider-Man 2. They revealed like 60 some suits. They revealed that you'll have access to the wingsuit, which adds a whole new component into the city travel, which, let's be honest, is the best part of any of the Spider-Man games, is traveling through the city. You can switch between Miles and Peter pretty much anytime you want, with the only caveat being there are some missions that are locked to Miles and some missions that are locked to Peter. But for the most part, at any point in time, you can kind of switch between the two. And it just looks fucking awesome.
See, here is that they're even expanding the map.
Oh, yeah. They have added a couple more boroughs.
Brooklyn and Queens.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense if you're going to play a lot as Miles, because that's where Miles usually hangs out.
I'm going to say this, though. If I go to Queens and I don't find a certain barber shop, I'm not playing.
You're not playing?
No.
What if the barber shop is there, but they changed the name of it for legally distinct reasons?
Okay, but I better hear Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy in there. They better reprise those voices for me.
Going to be doing
for me specifically.
The fly in the soup joke.
I'm not buying it. Oh, that, you know what? Even if they just had some guy in there just every once in a while, it's like, all right, I'm okay with this.
What if they have a McDowell's? Will that do it for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm completely sold if they have a McDowell's.
All right, next up, I hate to do this right after like being like super into the game that I was just talking about.
Well, don't do it.
Resident Evil 4 remake has new DLC that got revealed. I'm just not a huge Resident Evil guy. It can now be played in VR. If you like Resident Evil, I'm sure you'll love that. Another one of these JRPGs, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. I don't know a whole lot about it. It's coming out in November, but I've never been a series of the Tales games in general. I've never been a fan of the Tales games in general, but I don't know. The art looks sick. Helldivers 2 is coming out in February. I know some of my friends really got into Helldivers. I never did, but if you like big guns to shoot big monsters with, that might be right up your alley.
I don't know. What did those monsters ever do to people?
I don't know. They're supposedly from hell or something.
Oh.
The next game I'm just not going to fucking talk about because fuck James Cameron and the studios that he works for.
Sure, yep.
Next up was Baby Steps. If you've ever played QWOP or like Octodad or any of those games where like you're trying to do like normal shit, but it's like really hard. That's what this is about, pretty much.
Funny.
Honkai Star Rail, which is from the makers of Genshin Impact, is coming to PS5. If you're into that gacha pawn style RPG stuff, it's on Android, iOS, and stuff right now, but you'll be able to get it on PS5 coming soon. The PlayStation version of Splatoon, where you spray everybody with foam, they talked about that some more. They got an open beta that's gonna be running like the end of September, beginning of October. It's like a weekend long, so if you're interested in that, get on it. Spray your friends down with some sticky white foam. And then the last announcement was just that the PlayStation 5 and the controllers will be getting some new colors. You'll be able to get it in red, blue, or silver.
Well, I guess to be fair, the only thing I'm really excited about this is the sticky white foam. I don't know, man. I feel like most of the stuff that I would be seriously interested in that PlayStation at least used to do got kidnapped by Nintendo. So I don't know.
Spider-Man, and they got me with that. I will be getting that game.
I do like Spider-Man, but it's, yeah.
But speaking of sticky white foam, after you get done spraying your friends with sticky white foam, it might be time to get clean. And maybe you should check out our affiliate, geekyclean.com.
Woo.
The handmade monthly dice set Bath Bomb subscription box is the ultimate indulgence for dice enthusiasts and bath lovers alike. Every month, subscribers receive a curated, handmade dice bath bomb, each with its own unique scent, color, and set of dice. These bath bombs are carefully crafted with high-quality ingredients, providing a relaxing and exciting soak every time.
The colors and scents change each month, so subscribers never know what to expect. From vibrant hues to calming shades, and from sweet and floral fragrances to spicy and invigorating scents, the dice bombs change every month. And of course, the highlight of the subscription box is the different sets of dice. Each month, subscribers receive a new set of dice ready for their next adventure.
The dice bomb for October is poison caramel apple scented, with bright green and black dice, with gold glitter and bright green detailing inside. Each bath bomb also comes with a linen dice bag. And don't forget, you can get 10% off your subscription or any other order with our link or the discount code Guild Decree. But dig in right back into more video game news. Unity is backpedaling hardcore.
Yep. And I also want to point out, too, before we get into the other stuff, if you guys don't want us talking about all this video game stuff, please start putting pressure on the studios that are keeping these strikes going.
Right, so we can start talk about movies and TV, because we want to. Trust us.
Yep.
We want to.
Yep. All right, so Unity.
Yeah, so for those who don't know or didn't listen to the last episode, basically Unity announced that they were going to be making a change, and it really sucked. It was going to cost a bunch of developers a bunch of money. They have not said exactly what changes they're going to make or what they're going to do because of the outcry, but they did make the following tweet, and I quote, "We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and the angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we will be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback."
One might say they missed the mark.
I swear to God, if that shit had said they missed the mark, oh my God.
Oh my God. One of the first responses to this tweet, done by Co-Carnage. I don't know who this guy is. I mean, he's verified, which really means nothing anymore. He's like, "We have heard you. We have not listened to you. Here's a bunch of marketing talk to make you think we're doing something." Now, I will say this, Jacksepticeye, he's like taking all bets. Do they double down and make it way worse, or actually revert some changes and save the day?
So, reading this off a Polygon article, there is an update that after the tweet was made on Monday, Bloomberg published a report outlining the tentative new plan. It would include that it may limit fees to 4% of a game's revenue for customers making over 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's actually not limiting anything for the little indie guys who aren't making over 1 million, which is bullshit. It also noted that installations racked up to meet the threshold won't count toward the fees.
Okay.
So developers might only pay for all of the installs after meeting the requirements, which could be better, but it's still a lot.
Yeah.
And it's also reported that Unity may ask developers to self-report the data necessary to track installations.
Okay.
So they're literally asking developers to tell on themselves in order to have to pay more fees.
It's like, okay, yeah, we made $2. There was like, we had like one download. Sorry, man. There you go. Here's 20 cents. There you go.
All right, sticking in video game news, because that seems to be this whole episode. So, are you familiar with Nexus mods at all?
I am.
Okay, so for anyone listening who maybe doesn't know what Nexus mods is, it's basically the biggest mod website online. Like, if you are someone who plays PC games and uses mods, chances are you got that mod from Nexus mods, and probably even used their Vortex application in order to easily install those mods on your games and make sure that it works and doesn't break your fucking game. Starfield came out not long ago, and a bunch of, I don't even know what the proper name to call these people would be, but a bunch of people got angry because Starfield lets you choose your pronouns. And so they made a mod that removes the ability to choose your pronouns. And Nexus mods said, fuck that shit, removed that mod, and banned the users who made that mod.
Okay. I will say this. First off, what a pointless move that was to make that mod.
Right.
Don't really know what you were trying to do.
Make a political statement.
Obviously. In your game, you can, again, make whatever pronouns you want. If you make him male presenting and you make it a him, then that's your game. Sure, have fun. What Starfield was doing is giving other people the option to explore the options of pronoun options. So yes, you're right, a pure political move, which banning it and banning the people who made it, also a political move.
Yeah.
Because again, it's pointless for them to do that because it's like, whatever, it's just a mod, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is a statement. Both of these things were statements.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was a necessary statement to make in the face of another statement that was being made. And good on Nexus for making that fucking statement.
So, quote from Nexus mods about the people who said that they were leaving Nexus because they removed the mod, or the people who got banned. Nexus, quote, frankly, we are not sad to see them go, end quote.
I'm not sad to see him go either.
Now, another quote from Nexus, and I'm getting all this, again, from a Polygon article. It's not a political statement or an alignment to one side or the other in the culture war. We stand for diversity and inclusion in our community, and the removal of diversity, while appealing to many, does not promote a positive modding community. So they said it's not a political statement, but, what the fuck else could it be?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Again, they're using, corporate jargon to say, hey, we're not taking a side, but we took a side. Which, that's fine, whatever, you're running a business. We know you took a side. And that is okay.
And it's
side.
It's obvious you were already on this side, because in 2022, the site also banned an account that created a mod for Marvel Spider-Man that removed pride flags from the city.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So...
So dumb.
And when they removed that user, they said, we are for inclusivity, we are for diversity. So they are choosing a side, and I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
All right, talking about the strike again. So we talked about Drew Barrymore being a scab last episode. And
yep.
Drew Barrymore was not alone. A lot of talk show hosts were talking about coming back during the strike, even though they use writers, and totally makes them a scab. And I think it's because of the backlash that Drew Barrymore got, but a lot of them have backpedaled on that and are talking about maybe walking back the release dates of coming back and not crossing the picket lines.
Mm-hmm.
A tweet from Bill Maher said, my decision to return to work was made when it seemed like nothing was happening and there was no end in sight to the strike. Now that both sides have agreed to go back to the negotiating table, I'm going to delay the return of real time for now and hope they can finally get this done. Which, first of all, fuck you. It shouldn't matter if it looks like the end of the strike is coming anytime soon. Don't be a fucking scab. Don't go, oh, well, I was gonna be a scab, but it looks like the strike might end soon, so I'm not.
Right.
Lame. He was notably not acknowledging that, other talk show hosts have, done a complete 180 after Drew Barrymore fucking got slammed, and a bunch of other talk shows just went, okay, we're not going to do that then. Which it shouldn't have taken Drew Barrymore getting slammed in order. They shouldn't have used Drew Barrymore as a guinea pig to be like, oh, let her be the first one to step out and see how this goes, and then we'll turn around and not do it. You're all just as bad. She just got to it first, and then you saw that it didn't go well, and yeah,
and actually, just looking at, again, I'm on Polygon looking at this, and apparently Drew Barrymore has contractual agreements.
Right.
which is why she was going back on air, though she never brought it up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which she totally should have, because like it probably would have gotten a lot more people off of her back.
I mean, I guess good on her for not, I don't know, making excuses. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a confusing move at the end of the day.
And it looks like the Actors Union cleared hosts for hosting duties while the strike is ongoing. So, I mean, I get she is, I don't.
Maybe she's not a scab. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they were forcing the writers and everything to come back, then yeah, that's a
or
problem.
Hiring other writers.
Ugh, I don't know.
All right, last thing I had on my things to talk about list for this episode. This one comes from a Kotaku article. There's a bear in Disney World, and we ain't talking Pooh Bear.
I've actually only been to Disneyland.
And this wasn't Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh.
No, just a whole ass black bear.
Just a whole ass black, which are arguably way more dangerous than like a grizzly bear.
Right. Just a whole ass black bear was loose in Disney World, and they had to shut down part of the park because there was a fucking bear.
Wow. Did they say what happened to the bear? Yes, they do. Oh, so, he's alive and well, and they capture him and move him to another part of the forest.
Female black bear, which could be worse. I mean, mama bear.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You don't mess with mama bear. But yeah, apparently she was just there looking for food, and then Florida Wildlife Commission came in and managed to escort the bear out. I mean,
well, I don't know if they escorted it out. I think they probably sedated it and carried it out.
Let's see. Yeah, captured alive is what it says, and then transported to an area near Ocala National Forest.
You know what? I bet I know how they did it. They got a box with a stick, and they lured it.
Just like a little trail of honey.
Yep, and then just pulled the stick out, and that's how they captured it.
I think we need a bigger box.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they are like in the middle of its. I mean, I guess that really calls attention to where this is happening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it is. We are already on stolen land.
Right.
And that is of the native people who were living here well before anybody, quote unquote, discovered it.
Right.
But then you also take into account that even that is technically stolen land from the animals that lived here before.
Right.
So these animals, we put this giant fucking castle in the middle of their wetlands, and now it's, now we want to act shocked, like, shocked Pikachu over here when a wild animal actually wanders into what is arguably still their home. And
where they can definitely smell food.
Definitely. And some of that food is carrying food.
Yeah.
Huh.
You got food carrying food eating food. A whole lot of food.
Getting more food. Food is foodier. Food is getting foodier.
And then, like, Disney purposely pumps in the smells of food to their parks as well.
Right. Yeah. Good Lord. So funny.
So, yeah, I'm glad the bear got out, like, alive and unharmed and all that good stuff.
And a free trip to Disney World.
And none of the guests got hurt or anything like that. They managed to, like, shut down the correct parts of the park and, get the bear out of there. But it's still just funny. A bear was like, I'm going to go get a churro. And a turkey leg.
I heard that the cast member who was portraying Gaston was actually on his way to take care of the bear, but he had to be restrained. So
yeah, had that blunderbuss ready to go.
Ready to go.
Was already starting the song. No, not you, Gaston.
No, stop.
Oh man. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Casters Guild. Email us at castersguild@gmail.com. Let us know what you want us to talk about while we avoid struck companies. Come join us on Discord. That is where all the fun stuff is happening. and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, God, a bear!